Greetings to one and all. Myself Kishore, IoT engineer R&D team from Minion Labs. This is the third episode of this webinar series on energy efficiency, which will happen every Fridays at the same time, that is 4:30 to 5:30, presented by Minion Labs along with its academic partner IIIC of Christ University. Today's webinar will be recorded and made available on YouTube and also on Minion Labs website in a week. And documented copies are available immediately on your mailbox after today's session. Energy Efficiency Series, Episode 3. So now let us take some time and recall what are all the topics that we have covered in the previous episode. So we have learned some concepts on alternating current, how to generate it, and applications of the direct current, how to generate, etc. So alternative current describes the flow of which changes the direction periodically. So we have seen the generating of AC as well. AC can be produced using a device called alternator. We saw some three types of AC waveforms, that is sinusoidal, triangle and square wave. So the general applications of ACs are AC motors and transformers. So we'll see what is direct current now. Direct current provides a constant voltage or a current generating DC by using commutator, rectifier circuits, and also the batteries. So, and also we saw some waveform of direct current, which is obviously very constant voltage always. So, what applications like we use DC in cell phones, TVs, hybrid and EV electric vehicles. So, and also we saw the one of the like very interesting topic in the previous session, that is battle between currents. We have learned about Edison's Mir campaign, which was a cruel, and finally AC won the battle. And also some of the advantages of AC over DC. And finally, we took a real-time case study to know how the electricity bills are generated and the tariffs of that. And at last, we saw a kilowatt meter and its uses in terms of energy efficiency. So coming to today's episode, we'll try to understand some of the concepts of electricity meters and also energy auditing. So electricity metering. An electricity meter or any energy meter is a device that measures the amount of electric energy consumed by a building or tenant space or any equipment which uses electricity, which is powered by electricity. Electric utilities use electric meters to install at the customer's premises to measure their electric energy delivered to their customer for the billing purposes. The reading on the meter is cumulative, like its overall summation. So to determine the consumption reading of a particular month, the difference between the readings of the month and the previous month also calculated. The value which you get in the electricity consumption of that particular month, now the reading is very small. It means that your consumption is low and consequently your electricity obviously will be lower. So when the reading is high, it means the consumption is very high and the electricity bill is very high. It's directly proportional. They are typically calibrated in billing units. The most common one being in kilowatt hour, that is kWh, which we generally call it as units. They are usually read once in a billing period. When energy savings during certain period are desired, some meters may measure demand, the maximum of power in some interval. So time of the day. Metering allows electric rates to be changed during every day to record usage of during peak, high cost periods and off peak. Also in some areas, meters are relays for demand response load shedding during their peak load hours. So why meters are important? Most electric meters installed are analog meters, which display units intended to be read visually. Past decade, the meters have been deployed for granularly or cloud connected energy tracking. This trend is helping to achieve better operational performance in the building. First, by monitoring the energy use of the building. Second, in the equipment level and in the tenant spaces in the real time. Operators can recognize immediately when there is an issue in the building. Secondly, when it comes to the maximizing energy efficiency, energy audits are only a snapshot of energy efficiency. Meters that track energy use in a real time provide continuous visibility in a property. Working of electric meters. The electric meter installed in your home is the device that allows the utility department to charge you monthly on the amount of energy you have consumed. The electric meters measure the current flow through the service entrance and into the personal electric service panel. As you already know, electric meters can be mechanical or analog or digital or smart meters. In the first case, a utility service person would visit your home to read meters on a monthly basis. With the newer smart meters, the information is directly sent over the radio, RF, or any internet signals like Wi-Fi, LTE, 3G, and 4G. The consumption of electricity is measured again in already it's in kilowatt hours, that is units. This means we are measuring the watts consumed over a period of time. The power consumption meter does this work, that is, it records the electricity that consumed in kilowatt hours. Sometimes the expenses incurred on electricity consumption are one of those expenses which you have to bear in a regular basis. So it'll be in a regular every monthly basis or every billing period basis. Every month you will receive a bill of electricity which you have consumed to different appliances. When the bill is surprisingly higher in a certain month, you start thinking, how come my bill is so higher than a previous month, given that my electricity consumption pattern has been same. In fact, some people are also have opinion that electric meters run faster than electromechanical meters. Is it true? No, definitely not. So now we'll see the two main categories of the electricity meters. One is traditional or analog meter, second smart or digital meter. Analog meter. The analog meter is a mechanical device that is encased within a glass housing and consists of metal disc that rotates when the building or house draws the current. So we'll be seeing in old houses nowadays all the most of the houses electricity meters are changed to digital. But if you see in olden days, there was a disc-like thing which is a mechanical based. When the house occupants draws the current, it used to be rotating. If you observe this mechanical disc, you will note that during peak electric consumption, the disc moves faster than the low consumption hours. This consists of two conductor coils inside the mechanical analog meters create magnetic fields. Both get affected by electricity and voltage that moves through the conductor. When this happens, the magnetic field moves the aluminum disc at a controlled rate. This disc in turn connected to 5 dials which moves alternatingly while recording the electricity consumption, that is in kilowatt hours. The reading cannot be read remotely and therefore needs to be done on spot. Before smart meters took over, you would remember a person from utility department paying a monthly visit to your house to note down the readings. But you can also learn to read the dials and understand how much electricity you use in a given month. This will allow you to verify if you have been charged correctly or not. In order to record electric usage, you need a baseline and an end line. So the difference between the 2 points will let you know the electricity consumption of that particular course of month. So coming to smart and digital and smart meters, the top electric companies in India offers different types of digital electric meters. One style contains a mechanism similar to the analog meters, but it also consists of a analog to digital converter, that is ADC, that reports the measurement in terms of digital signal. Another version of AC sensors that record the measurement with a greater accuracy. Digital meters have electronic display that make them easier to read and understand. Using a RF signal emitted by the electric meter, the utility department has a direct real-time reading of the electric consumption. This is the way you end up receiving an electric bill from the department without a personal ever making a visit to your home. So electricity meter suppliers in India call smart meters owning their better accuracy, greater efficiency. More industrial units and home have digital meters in India. So now we'll see some of the subtypes of the meter under both analog and digital meters. So with the advancement of technology, like any other gadgets, the energy meter has also been undergoing continuous development towards accuracy, low power consumption, transfer of data, measuring parameters, anti-tampering features, etc. and called electromechanical, electronic meter, smart meter, dual resistor smart meter, etc. So let us see one by one. First, electromechanical meter. Electromechanical meter were very common in India a few years ago, but no more. The working of electromechanical meters is fairly simple. There is a non-magnetic metallic disc attached to it internally, which rotates depending upon the power passing through it. So if the power passing through it is very high, then the disc rotates very faster. We already understood that. When the passage of the power is very low, the disc rotates slow. The rate of the rotation in turns decides the reading of the electricity meter. Higher the number of rotations, higher the reading, and vice versa. Since there is a rotation in disk involved, it is bound to consume some electrical energy itself to be facilitate the rotations. The power of around 2 watt is consumed to make it rotate, and this power consumption is not registered on the meter. Electronic meter, also digital meter in a modern days. Electronic meters are becoming increasingly popular nowadays. An electronic meter has a LED or LCD display on which the readings of the electric consumption, that's in the units of kWh, of the connected appliances. The readings are digital in the electronic meters in contrast to the electromechanical meters. The meters have sustainable over a 5 years of period, no wear and tear, and measured accurately under any conditions. These are much more efficient than the electromechanical meters in sense that they do register every single small unit of electrical consumption and also measure accurately in various tempered conditions such as reverse temper, earth temper, immune to DC influence, and distribute phase sequence. Smart meters. Smart meters are the newest addition to the type of electricity meters. They look similar to electronic meter, but they are better both electromechanical meters and also electronic meters, in the sense that in addition to providing the usual services of the regular meter, they are connected back to the utility through the internet. It means that there is no need of official from the utility which provides you the electricity to come at your doorstep and take a meter readings. The readings are automatically sent to the internet. Such meters save money for taking the readings. Avoid any mistakes of recording wrong reading. Reading is sent in the time to measure the total units consumed during the unit, during the month, or during the billing cycle period. Prepaid meters. prepaid service is lesser known but widely available. With this type of service, you have a credit balance that you already paid for, and this balance is reduced as your use of electricity. There are no deadlines or monthly bills. Under this system, you can pay what you want when you want, provide you maintain a balance. The responsibility is on you to keep up the balance. This system is becoming popular with the utility since the money is paid in advance. They normally provide some discount in the energy bill as well. For example, UPPCL provides 2% rebate, that is 2% cashback for prepaid energy meters. Postpaid smart meters. Again, postpaid services is most common electric service payment scheme. The consumer uses the electricity first and is billed for what he has used in the scheduled intervals. Mostly it will be monthly or quarterly. Once billed, you have to set a time such as 15 days to pay the amount due. Failure to pay often incurs late fees or other penalties like your credit card. Continued failure to pay can result in disconnection or collection action. The power company normally takes a 3-month advance based on expected energy consumption, so that in case of non-payment, the outstanding is adjusted against the security. So there are prepaid and post versions in this category. Prepaid is also becoming more popular. It's in discounts give rebate of 2%. Dual register smart meters. Dual register smart meters, as the name suggests, measures and record energy consumption from two different sources, mainly DISCOM, that is DISCOM and DG. This energy, one is distribution company and the diesel generators. These energy meters are having features of prepaid energy charges separately for DG and DISCOM, and also disconnection features if balance is not adequate of any the sources per the set of the values. Disconnection can be programmed for a daytime only. One can monitor the live reading of the consumption of DISCOM and DG. The energy meter are not so popular with DISCOM so far. It is being provided to the builders avail single point of collection from DISCOM and multi-stored housing society where the alternative source of supply is from DG. So what it's like one is from utility and one is from the generators, so that it monitors in between. Kilowatt meter, everyone's favorite. Like sorry, 1 second. Am I audible? I lost the internet type. Yeah. Okay. So the advantage of kilowatt meter to understand the energy consumption pattern of high energy consumption sources such as AC, etc. It is advisable to have a kilowatt meter installed with each and every AC to monitor the consumption so that you don't get any shock of any high energy consumption during the summer, and can well controlled if you decide so. We'll see what are the main specifications of energy meter as per IS 13779? The basic current 10 amps and a maximum current of 60 amps, voltage plus 20% and minus 40% of reference voltage. Starting current should be 0.2% of the basic current. Short time overcurrent should be 1800 amps for 0.01 second. Impulse withstand voltage should be maximum to 8 kilowatt. AC withstand voltage should be for 1 minute should be 4 kilowatt. Fire resistant materials of the body, electromagnetic capability, compatibility, measure energy including due to harmonics flashing. LED should be visible in the front. Meter calibrated at the factory and modification in the calibration shall not be possible at the site by any means and created by any manufacturers. What are the parameters that electric meters should to be measured? The main parameter is consumption, that is cumulative kWh, meaning thereby the consumption in the period to be found out by subtracting the readings on date minus the previous reading. Cumulative kVAH and the power factor where applicable. However, most of the domestic tariff is based on kWh except WB. Real time and date. Maximum demand. 6 months history of energy consumed. Time of day tariff where applicable. Monthly on and off hours in the history. Instantaneous voltage, instantaneous load, kilowatt, and also meter numbers, etc. These are the main parameters to be recorded. Meter shall store maximum demand in every 30 minutes. 30 minutes period along with date and time. At the end of every 30 minutes, new maximum divide shall be previous maximum divide demand and store whichever is higher, and the same shall be displayed. The maximum demand resetting shall be automatic at the first of the month. Manual reset shall not be available. All these data, all these parameters accessible for the reading, recording and smart billing by downloading through a optical port with RS-232 interface compatibility to transfer data locally on CMRI or laptop or computer at the site and remote through PSTN. It's again a interface connectivity that is over a optical fiber network or GSM based or radio frequency based or any other technology to the main computer. Anti-tamper features of energy meters. This is one of the quite important topic. The meters are generally provided with many anti-tamper measures which detect the tampering and send an alarm to the main computer. Such anti-tampering provisions are like this: incoming and outgoing wire interchanged, phase and neutrals interchanged, incoming neutral disconnected, outgoing neutral disconnected to the earth through resistor or any load which is connected to the incoming neutral wire disconnected, and also can be interchanged sometime. Sometime no, neutral might be missing, reverse energy can be measured. So these are all the like big tamperings that will affect your consumption and also a bill. So no one shall try to tamper the energy meter either self or with any assistant of meter reading, as the consequences can be heavy penalty and also imprisonment. Accuracy of energy meter. Accuracy of energy meter is defined as maximum error permitted in recording the energy over in a full scale of working. Mostly digital electronic meter are being provided and with a class 1.0 accuracy. For example, your rating is meter rating is 5 to 30 amps is tested and compared to the high precision bench meter installed in the manufacturer place for testing. The reading shall not vary more than plus or minus 1%. If it's plus or minus 1%, it will go to the next stage, that is 1.5 accuracy. So as the error is low, the accuracy will be high. So, defects of energy meter. The most common energy meter becomes defects for these reasons, that is burnout or external damage or any high reading. So the burning of energy meter is mostly due to loose connection at the terminals, for which the customer should always be careful whenever replaced or newly installed or tampering. External damage is due to theft, hit by an outsider, etc. For such issues, the DISCOM generally asks for FIR before replacement is accepted. Most of the complaint which is not apparent is a high energy reading as against the usage of appliances or previous month consumption, even no change in pattern of consumption. Such issues will certainly arise when electromechanical meters are changed to digital meters, since the sensitivity of the digital meters is very high, can sense even the mobile charging current, which was not with the electromechanical meters. The best way to take care of this installation is to check meter and compare the two two ones in a 2 months. Like in the compare the same meter for the 2 months, not with the previous or old meters. So to be very sure in the high meter readings, one can consider installing a kilowatt meter in the circuit of the AC which consumes high energy. So life of energy meter. The life of digital meter can be taken in the same way as any electronic device, ranging from 15 to 30 years. The consumable is real-time clock RTC, which is operated with the battery. This battery, if becomes defective prematurely, the meter may also give enormous readings. Error consumption of digital meter. Energy consumption of digital meter. A digital meter or any other meter consumes energy for its functional charging to the customer. The power rating of the energy meter is about let's assume it's about 1 watt. It means 24 watt in a day. That is 8.7 units per year. 8.7 kWh per year. So what are the common problems with the electromechanical meter? Although the electromechanical meter have quite common in the past decades, there are certain problems that are attributed to them. Since electromechanical meters consist of moving parts, they are bound to undergo some wear and tear within the passage of time. Over the time, the electromechanical meter will diminish the performance. In the study, there was a study conducted by Analog Devices Incorporation in the US. It was found that accuracy of electromechanical meter decreases subject to various environmental factors such as humidity, dust, and dirt, which significantly affecting the operating accuracy of the electromechanical meter. Factors like corrosion, or overdraft of the gears, or insects can render the electromechanical meters unable to capture the electric consumption of the property accurately. The mechanical gear lubricants may dry up, resulting in the breaking of gear teeth, which also affects the energy consumption readings again. Also, the electromechanical meters may give miscalibration if the experience of sudden shock or vibration or shorts, which may cause a jolt or a sudden spottage of rotating disc. So passed over the years, the accuracy will be diminishing in the electromechanical meter. So electronic meter are better than electromechanical meters because they do not contain moving parts, that is any mechanical part in it, which get affected due to various factors as listed already. Also, they provide not only consumed units, as in case of electromechanical meter, but they also provide other information like the instantaneous and maximum rate of usage demands, voltage, power factor, and so on. Sorry. So what to do if your meter is showing very high than usual? It's one of the common thing everyone come across, right? If you see any sudden rise in electricity consumption, which is confounding you, look for these things. Have you changed the energy meter at your place recently anytime? If any electromechanical meter has been recently replaced by an electronic meter, it is also possible you might experience such situation, because we already seen electronic meter are more accuracy. It also detect the consumption of your mobile charger in any small appliances. It does not mean that your consumption has increased. It's just that your old meter was not able to account for the minute power consumption, which the electronic meter is capable to do, causing the sudden increase in electricity meter. So it's good to compare the meters, same meters for two more months or two more billing cycles. Installation of a check meter to be compared the consumption to get the idea if the main meter is likely to be defective, or if our best thing is use a kilowatt meter on the AC outlet to check the trend of the AC consumption of each and every appliances. Check the supply code of your state and then check the guidelines on your meter and process provided there for the replacement or checking meter. The cost of the new energy meter to be given by a consumer, since the cost of original installation was also borne by him only. So look for other options to save energy bill and reduce demand by option for energy saving options like replace your old CFL lamps and then halogen lamps with the LED lamps. Replace your old AC motor fans with the BLDC fans, inverter based AC, or use a refrigerator. Switching off the setup box, charging plug AC from the mains instead of remote. So what if your electricity meter get defected? What all things you have to do? So electricity meter, just like on other device or equipments, should or can go wrong anytime, can't be expected. Although it does not mean that they are not sole reasons for high electricity bills. It can be one of the issues. The first thing that you should do is to validate the electricity bill amounts using some guidelines. And if it is found that electricity meter is defective, then you need to do some action. So first step, if you have identified or fault of the electricity meter, the first thing that you should do is inform your electricity distribution company. In Karnataka, for example, it's Bescom, the electricity provider. The meter may belong to the consumer or electricity distribution company. Both are the responsible to maintenance its distribution, both maintenance of your electricity meter. In fact, as per CERC, Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, those regulations and protocols, electricity distribution company should test the meter once every 5 years, or if not more frequent, and the cost of the same has been borne by the company. CERC regulation also states the responsibility of the safety of the meters lies within the customers. If you wish to verify the accuracy of the meter, then you need to submit an application to the electricity distribution company. So electricity distribution company have a fee to make this application for you. So the meter can be tested in a their laboratory, distribution company laboratory, or any other authorized laboratory. The meter has to be tested within a few months. For example, 2 months in Maharashtra, and the consumer can request a copy of report of the same. What if your problem is not attended? So you made an application, but your meter is not tested, or no one responded to your complaint, or you did not get any report, or you're still not satisfied with the report that were given. The next thing that you should do is register a complaint with the consumer grievance forum of the distribution company, Every distribution company is supposed to have GRF, which is a department dedicated to handle all the consumer complaints. If you are still not satisfied by the response from GRF, you can always go to State Electricity Ombudsman appointment by Electricity Regulatory Commission of the state. This authority have over the distribution company and can help you to resolve you in despite which electricity distribution company. So informing immediately if you feel meter is faulty. So before keeping it for long term and increasing the bills, it's better always informing immediately. If a meter is found faulty, most distribution companies will adjust bills of only the last few months. For example, in Maharashtra, it's only for 3 months. So it is very important to act quickly if you find that meter is faulty. Similarly, the companies can recover bills of only for a few months. Again, in Maharashtra, it's only for 3 months, and in Karnataka, it's 2 months. I guess. If the meter has stopped working completely, thus do not wait for long to get the meter tested. If you feel that meter is getting wrong readings, meter just give it for testing and then follow the procedures. So generally meter can go wrong either way. So meter can go fast and can go slow as well. If it is found that meter is very slow, then the excess amount will have to be paid by the consumer. It is important to note that if you have already very old mechanical meter, it is likely that it can be running very slow. Many people complain of higher electricity bills when their meters are exchanged for the electronic meters. But the fact that matter is old mechanical meter tend to get slow whenever they are replaced with new functionality electronic meter. People tend to get electricity bill higher than they used to get before. This happens because the new meter shows the correct readings. Unlike old meter, it used to capture only a particular device data, but not like more minute device consumptions data. So act soon if you feel the electricity meter is not correct, because this might be one of the major reason for your more consumption of electricity. Energy audit. Power crises are the big brain twister of India. Over 10 million people in India still have no access to electricity. In such circumstances, there is only a way to meet our energy demand, that is energy conservation, which is done by energy audit or better energy management. Energy audit will assist you to grasp more power in the ways of energy and fuels are used in many industries. Help in to know the areas waste can be occur where chance for progress exists. The primary motto of energy audit is to determine way of the reducing energy consumption per unit of the product output and lowering the cost. The energy audits result in better energy management, which results in energy conservation, which directly proportional to the low cost consumption. So what is energy audit? An assessment of energy needs and efficiency of the building. That is, an energy audit is an inspection, survey and analysis of the energy flow for energy conservation in a building. It may include process or system to reduce the amount of energy input into the systems without negatively affect the output. So these are the main 5 steps for the energy auditing, that is access, measure, evaluate, improve and validate. So these are the main key objectives of the energy auditing. Main aim: ensuring efficiency of power utilization, to identify power saving opportunities, optimization of distribution network, checking existence problems and point of failures in the electrical systems, ensuring the ability of existence facility to support further expansion needs, accessing earthing related problems, any leakages or any line earthing problems, etc. Updating SLD in line with changes in the distribution, that is updating your signal line diagram. Each individual houses or each individual electrical infrastructure has their own SLDs. Checking for a signal point of failure, loose connection or terminations, contracted demand or current demand utilization in difference. So the energy steps in energy audit. First, data collection. The auditor starts collecting some preliminary information on the energy consumption of the facilities and some technical details such as process diagrams, drawings, that is SLDs, and equipment inventories usually provided by the organizations. Fieldwork. At least one on-site visit is compulsory required with the aim of gathering all the information needed for the study depending on defined scope. This information includes collecting the details of energy consumption of each equipment such as brand, model, power and hours of operations. Some interviews with staff will also be required. Depending on the type of energy audits, some metering devices will be used. Analysis of energy consumption and performance of energy accounting. All the operations of the organization must be analyzed as well as equipment consumption energy also. The processes which have high energy consumption must be identified in order to determine the potential for reducing it and to define the energy saving measures to improve the global energy performance. All information collected used to evaluate the different uses of energy within the process and establish the breakdown of the each appliances level energy consumption. The energy accounting is also called energy balance. Analysis and development of energy saving measures. Once all data is collected, has been analyzed, energy saving measures can be identified. The information collected and analyzed enables the auditor to detect energy measures to reduce the energy consumption. So where exactly the energy consumption is more, what to improve, when to improve, where to improve. Energy and cost savings of these measures will be accessed together with the investment needed and the payback. Energy audit report. Following the energy audit report must be issued to the customer, which should include at least the following information, that is technical scope, methodology, and suggested energy saving measures. So technical scope includes services, including area of level of depth of analysis and the details required. Methodology, the point includes the analysis of the state of heart of facilities, that is energy inputs, technology, and services. Suggested energy saving measures. This point includes a description of the energy saving measure, including potential energy savings, economic savings, investment needed, and payback. So relation of energy audit and energy management. So the first level will be always energy audits, that is survey, inspection, analysis. Energy management is structured approach device. Oh, okay, before that, so these are the common questions when it comes to energy audit. That is, how much energy are we consuming? Where is the energy consumed? How efficiently is energy consumed? Can there be an improvement in energy use? Yes. Energy management is a structured approach designed to arrange energy usage and reduce energy cost, raising productivity and making a better work environment. The goal of energy management is to produce a building that uses at least possible energy while sustaining optimal level of comfort, safety, and productivity. An energy audit becomes the best first step towards saving energy saving money, saving energy in the production plant. Wide-scale resources conservation and emission reduction projects need a system of, but there is no way to implement in the kind of unless energy audits are conducted more fairly and become more effective overall. So without any energy audits, the action to be taken is quite not good. For example, green architecture is an eventful opportunity for energy conservation. Yet even when real estate companies try to invest in energy conservation, the companies still look the greatest benefit and do not allow or do not always meet existing building conservation standards. Thus, strict implementation of energy audit is compulsory for industries as they develop towards energy and source conservation. So here is some of the energy audit importance in home and industries. That is home energy audit. A residential energy audit is frequently and the first step in making your home more efficient in terms of energy consumption. An audit can help you access how much energy your home consumes and calculate what measures you have taken to improve the efficiency. But remember, audits alone don't save your energy. They also provide energy status. You can perform a simple energy audit yourself or a professional energy auditor perform a throughout the energy audit, each and every appliances level. Lower energy bills, which lower energy bills and increase the energy savings. A detailed report will compute cost-effective measures that you can take to ensure your home runs more efficiently. Industrial energy audit. Energy audit is becoming energy audit is the beginning of energy saving in the big industries recommended for almost all the sectors, irrespective of size and type. Industrial customers seeking to improve energy efficiency and cut operational cost should really consider having an industrial energy audit performed. Industrial audit can encompass their entire facility or may be customized to meet their needs. Industrial energy audits give these following benefits. That is improved comfort levels, improved immunization levels, low cost of maintenance, decrease AC load, ability to track energy savings. Other importance of energy audit is compliances with government regulations, lower energy cost, enable faster recovery of the investments, achieve better performance and lower downtime, enhance power quality and productivity, reduce reduce loss reduces losses, improve age of equipments and complete system. So India is one of the countries where present level of energy consumption by the world standards is very low. So the estimate of annual energy consumption in India is about 330 million tons of oil equivalent for a year. According to the per capita consumption of energy is about 305 kilogram of oil equivalent. On the supply side, the mismatch between demand and the supply is so large that India can ill afford to choose one option to in preference to other. So they are not meeting their energy demands. For several years, in fact, maybe for next few decades, India would not be explored all possible options to create reasonable large capacity basis of energy side. Sector wise consumption. So if you see this graph, if these are the sector wise consumption, that is agriculture, it's 17.95%, domestic 21.79, commercial 8.33, industry is the largest electricity consumption, that is 44.87, and others. So from this chart, it is clear that if we concentrate on energy consumption of domestic commercial industry, where energy audit and management can be done easily, then more conservation can be done in this sector. The important thing to remember is to focus on major energy users and areas to conserve energy. So we'll see some of the basic approaches to enable energy efficiency, that is improving the power factor. Power factor improvement is necessary to conserve the power. Power factor is in the range of 0 to 1 that we already learned from the previous sessions. So as the power consumption tends towards one never comes, because none of the devices uses 100% accuracy. It's the ideal state. Though when it tends near to one, it means the particular appliances, the appliance energy consumption is more efficient. So there are some ways which we use to improve the power factor using the correct size motor for the particular job. If job is so simple and then you use a high level of powering motors, that is high horsepower motors, so that's again a waste of energy. Shutting off unused motors, installing a capacitor, that's a storage. Use high energy star rated loads. So Energy Star International Standard for Energy Efficiency Consumer provides products originated. Devices carrying the Energy Star service mark, such as computer products, we'll see on washing machines, we'll see on air conditioner and kitchen appliances, many of the products. So most of the products which starts from 3 to 5 are good energy efficient products, which is one which consumes more energy. Technical and economic feasibility. The technical feasibility should address the following issues. Those are technical availability, space, skilled manpower, reliability, services, and much more. The impact of energy efficiency measures on safety, quality, production or process. The maintenance requirements and space availability to be considered. So next, create financial or tax incentives for energy efficiency. So this is one of the good thing to for the energy efficient, that is financial incentives for energy efficiency come in the form of tax incentives, grants or rebates. So that's cashback kind of. So these incentives are among the most common ways that state can promote their energy efficiency. Currently in India, 22 states have tax incentives to promote energy efficiency. Make early decision about your energy efficiency effort. We should make early decisions for energy audit. It will help to save power from initialization and initialization of an industry. The National Council of Electricity Policy has also created tools and resources that can help, including guides of financing energy efficiency program and to state program that supports energy efficiency. Next, awareness of energy issues among workers. In the factories, doing an energy audit increase awareness of energy issues among plant personnel, making them more knowledgeable about power practices that will make them more productive and also reduce the consumption. So these are the some common and simple like these are the advantages of energy audit. Comfort. Everyone need comfort. Energy efficiency and comfort go hand in hand, improving your building envelope by air sealing and increasing insulations, installing window films and shades and radiance batteries to not to get the heat dissipation more, and cooling system to more comfortable in your house for operating. Financial benefits. Reduce expenditures on energy. For example, by reducing consumption or changing tariff or fuel type, reduces maintenance cost, like following improved utilization of the plant and optimization in operations, which savings your cost as well in the water charges or in any energy demands, etc. Operational benefits. Addition to direct cost benefits, further benefits can be achieved by optimizing the operation of the building, process or plant. Ultimately, these may well have financial implementations. The information made available for the management on energy cost and use could not be found into invaluable assets for planning and decision making. So always improve the factorization contest in terms of energy savings. Environmental benefits. Environmental benefits is one of the main benefit that come out of the, like one of the main advantages of energy audit that arise from the using energy more efficiently may include reduction of CO2 emission, which is very harmful to GHG, greenhouse gases. Other emission for both site itself of upstream energy suppliers that can be harmful to the environment. Reduction of environmental impacts related to transmission, delivery or transport of energy. Reduction of regional and national energy demand. Conservation of natural resources, particularly fossil fuels and other non-renewable fuels. So, by energy audit provides a unique pathway for the customers to save money. Energy conservation and cutting utility costs are extremely important as energy prices rises day to day. Energy auditing is not an exact science, but a number of opportunities are available for improving the accuracy of the recommendations. Techniques which may be appropriate for the small scale energy audits can introduce significant errors into the analysis for the large complex facilities. We began by discussing how to perform energy and demand balance for the company. This balance is important step in doing energy usage analysis because it provides the check of accuracy each and every appliances which it has to be consumed. So we also address several problem. This energy in audit also addresses the several problem areas which can result very optimistic energy savings options. Finally, several areas where additional research, analyze, and data collection are needed to be identified. Once this additional information is obtained, we can all produce better and then more accurate energy audit reports. So finally, audits are great investments for the future, often resulting in immediate returns and quick payback. So thank you for joining and being for today's session. I've explained almost all the concepts of energy metering and energy audit in the easiest way that I can. So I hope this will help you to understand the process of audit, like self-auditing and also faulty meterings. So in the next session, that is on Friday, 5th March, we'll discuss and deep dive into some of the electricity concepts, much about the norms and standards of electricity, which everyone in general have to be known, and also energy management, how to save energy, and then how to manage the energy usage. So now it's time for Q&A. So anyone who have question, go ahead and you can ask. So assuming there is no questions, we're gonna end this call for today's session. Meet you on March 5th next Friday. Thank you everyone.